Hi friends, it's Julie and today I'm here with one of my check-in videos for you guys. So in these I let you know the books that I have finished over the last 2 weeks, the books I'm currently reading, and the books that I plan on picking up very soon. And just like my last couple videos, I've only managed to finish 2 books in the last couple weeks, but you know, life in the summertime is just busy and I haven't had that much time to read, but still I managed to finish 2 books and I enjoyed them, although they're very different. So the first book I finished was Brother by Ania Alborn, and this is a horror novel that really kind of surprised me. This book has definitely taken the spot as the darkest, most disturbing book I have ever read in my life. And you guys know that I enjoy like a dark story. This book just made me just, ugh. Like when I finished this story, I just felt so, like just blah. And a book has never done that to me before. The closest I've come to is The Troop by Nick Cutter, but I really loved that one. And these books are just completely different. I mean, completely different types of horror, but I think I went into this book kind of expecting it to be a little bit of a thriller, and it definitely wasn't that. This is definitely more of a horror, just straight up horror novel. And in this book, we follow this family called the Morrows, and they are just absolutely terrible people. They live out secluded from like everyone else. Like there's no one around them for miles. They live out in this old farmhouse surrounded by like woods and stuff. And the Morrows like to kidnap and torture and murder women just for fun. And everyone in the family is involved in this process in some way except for the daughter. And mainly this book is focusing on the family and like the family dynamics, and it really focuses on these 2 brothers. One is named Ray, and he is the oldest brother, and he is just like his parents. He's just a straight up sociopath. And then we have Michael, who is the younger brother, and he just doesn't really feel like he belongs in this family. He doesn't want to keep doing this. He wants to get away. And so we really kind of focus on Ray and Michael's relationship throughout this book and just how intense it is. And Ray takes Michael into town one day to this like record store, and Ray has been kind of like seeing this girl who works there, and so he brings Michael in, and Michael sees this other girl that works there, and he kind of shows an interest in her. They kind of flirt a little bit, and you know, after meeting her, Michael starts to really fantasize about what it would be like to leave his family and get away from all the terrible stuff that they do. But he quickly finds out, you know, that Ray's never going to let that happen, that it's family over everything. And this book was just so intense. There was kind of a little bit of a mystery component to it. There were things that were revealed throughout the course of the book, but it's definitely just more like straight up horror. And this book is definitely not for everyone. I mean, like I said, this is the darkest book I've ever read. There's lots of abuse. There is incest, there is just torture, and it just, so many terrible things. There's another really terrible thing that happens, but I don't really want to mention it because I think it gives part of the story away in case you do decide to read it. But if you want to know, you can ask me down in the comments and I will tell you. But yeah, I don't really know how I feel about this book because a book has never made me feel this way before. Just so... Ugh, after I finished it, just made my stomach hurt in parts. I don't know, but I definitely want to check out more Ania Alborn because I want to get a better like idea of her as an author. I haven't really heard anybody ever talk about her, especially like on BookTube. And after reading this book, I mean, it was written pretty well. Like I was sucked in from the very beginning. It starts off right away and there isn't a lot of slow time. There's like none of that. And I also really liked that she used multiple timelines in the book because I thought it really added to the story, because we would have like the present of what was going on, you know, with everybody since they've grown up kind of, and then it would flash back and we would get moments of Ray and his childhood and how, you know, what happened to lead up to the moments that are happening in this book now. And yeah, I definitely want to check out more of her books, and then I'll let you guys kind of know how I feel about her as an author. But yeah, definitely be warned if you decide to pick this up that it is very graphic, and I've never read really anything like it. And then the other book I finished was Sword of Destiny by Andrzej Sapkowski. And this is the second book in the Witcher series, and it's the second short story collection. So now that I finished this, I get to move on to the actual novels of the series, and I'm just so excited. I'm going to be doing that really soon. I absolutely loved this. I was a little nervous at first because when I first picked it up, I was finding it a little bit harder to get into than the first book, but by the end, I absolutely loved it. There was this theme that connected all of the stories together, and you didn't realize it at first, but you realize it at the end. And I'm loving all the backstory I'm getting on all of these characters, that I love so much. We find out more about Geralt, kind of how he became a Witcher, who his mother is. It focuses a lot on his relationship with the sorceress Yennefer, which is a pretty big part of the video games. And so I really loved finding out how all of that started. And then we also find out how he meets this other character that I know from the games. Her name is Ciri, and you kind of find out how their kind of relationship started. And these are just so awesome, and I can't wait to continue on with this series. And now on to the book that I'm currently reading, and that is Every Heart a Doorway by Shauna McGuire. I don't really know how I feel about this book yet because I'm only about 30 pages into it, but so far I'm enjoying it. I feel like this is a pretty polarizing book. Like, people either love it or they hate it, so I'm really interested in seeing what I think about it. And now the books that I plan on reading very soon, and the first one of those is an audiobook because I'm going to be going on a little bit of a road trip. This weekend we are driving down to Arkansas, and so I have about 5.5 hours each way in the car, and I downloaded Pray for Silence by Linda Castillo, which you guys know I've been mentioning this in every check-in video for the last few weeks, but I actually had to return my copy to the library, so I downloaded the audiobook, and then I'll pick up a copy to read when I get home, because I don't really listen to a lot of audiobooks just around the house. But then I'm also going to be reading very soon, right after the 4th, The Silence by Tim Levin. And I'm going to be buddy reading this with April from Getting a Hugga with It, and I'm really excited about that. We haven't done a buddy read yet together, so I'm excited. And this book sounds very similar to Bird Box, but kind of opposite. So in Bird Box, people couldn't see what was outside or else it would cause them to go crazy. And in this book, you can't let what's out there hear you or else it will kill you. So you have to be absolutely silent, which just sounds really interesting and pretty creepy. So I'm super excited to read this with April. And then another buddy read that I'm going to be doing pretty soon is Of the Obelisk Gate by N.K. Jemisin, and I'm going to be reading this with Michael from Bitten by Radioactive Book. And I haven't done a buddy read with him yet either, so I'm pretty excited about that. He reads a lot of fantasy, and I really enjoy his channel. He's reading the 5th season right now, and then when he finishes that, he is going to let me know so that we can pick up The Obelisk Gate, which I'm so excited to read. I've been wanting to read this for a while now, which I've been mentioning in my check-in videos, but the final book comes out in August. So yeah, very excited about that. And then of course, another one I have been mentioning in the last few check-in videos is Mad Ship by Robin Hobb, but Katie and I are really going to start this very soon because she's wanting to finish up a few books that she is reading, and then we're going to pick it up. We don't read these books really fast, we just kind of read them at our own pace. But we've been having such a wonderful time reading these books together, and I cannot wait to get back into this series. But those are all the books that I have read and what I'm currently reading. Please leave me a comment down below and let me know what you're reading, or if you've read any of these books, what you thought about them, because I would love to know. But I think that's it for the day, guys. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you all have a fabulous weekend, and I will see you all again very soon. Happy reading. Bye.